To them, the coffee only serves one purpose, which is to wake them up. Then they don't really care about flavors as to what goes in. And some people will just never care. But we shouldn't not try still, I believe.
Welcome to another episode of the Dabao Show. And this series days where we follow a guest from the FM industry on the day off to see what they get up to, have a meal with them, have a bit of tea, and maybe spill a bit as well. For today, our guest is Matt, the co-owner of Flip Coffee Roasters.
So we're back here at Flip Coffee again to find our friendly neighborhood barista, or friend rather, Matt. We're going to be here disturbing him on his off day today.
Hi, my name is Matt. I'm the co-owner of Flip Coffee. On my off days, I'm usually back at the shop getting a bit of work done.
We're here to actually rescue him from the shop. Let's go. How do you get started in coffee?
I was trained in graphic design and photography in school. I remember there was one day, like this particular day, we ended up like drinking coffee at Atlas. And I had like a pour over. And I wasn't expecting much because I had like good pour overs in Australia, and I didn't really know at that point whether like Singapore could replicate something like that. I knew what I liked and I knew what I didn't like. But of course, like I wouldn't know anything about like what I know now lah. But that was the starting point. Whereby like I tasted some like coffees and it was like, wow, shit. I was finishing, like school was done. At this point it was done. I had offers from like a few places and stuff, and some of them were like good prospects and all that. But I think there was just this dread in my heart to go back to work. Maybe didn't want to do it because this would mean like my entire life, right? I would be selling myself to work. I felt like a little bit scared at that point that I would grow up and become this person with like a slightly more bitter outtake on life just because I felt like I wasted a lot of years doing work that means pretty much nothing to me. There was always this call towards F&B because of service, because of craft.
This is what happens on Flip Coffee. Pocket by Flip. Don't be paranoid, guys.
Yeah, if you're not crazy, you cannot work here. I started out by just part-timing, random places.
What's the first gig at?
The first gig was just to try, and it was actually at this cafe which was connected to a church. Wow, quite lame one. I don't think I learned very much, but I know that at least when it comes to following instruction and like being confident behind like a bunch of like foreign looking coffee equipment or like picking up a workflow.
Very more ops, maybe more ops
focus, yeah. That was the end of it. Then I thought like, okay, now it's time to find full-time. Yeah, and the first full-time gig was actually at Mavericks Coffee. Last time, before COVID, nobody knows how to work from home. So like literally when lunchtime comes, right, what you get freaking taken. You get taken from the back, and sometimes you don't even know when it's gonna come. Yeah, sometimes they come early, sometimes they come late, but confirm come for you. When I went to work, I was always like quite excited because of the slam.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think I enjoyed
the high
volume, yeah. But I think a place like that plateaued really quickly for me because operations is just operations, and then that was when I sort of knew like, okay, maybe it's time to look around a little bit more. Yeah, because I knew that I could like crush a slam.
You're operationally ready.
But at that point it was like operationally ready, you can crush a slam, but you don't really understand what goes on in the machine. You don't understand fully like theory-wise like why coffee can taste a certain way, and like you just know how to do it lah. You know how to steam milk, you know how to pour, and you know how to like get coffees out. That was when I started looking around, and I knew that at that point the next place that I wanted to work at, I wanted it to also be a roastery. So that was about 3 years in Tiong Ho that followed up. We were trained very, very well, all of us. We were given the opportunity to really experiment with a lot of different coffees. What came as like a very good learning curve for me was you have to make coffee to this volume, but it also must be 10 upon 10. Consistently good. I think that was where I learned the importance of consistency. And then after that, they shifted me to open up the Balmoral one. At that point, I was starting to also sort of think like, is it about time to like think about doing something new?
I remember I know you from
Pinhole.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jen. So Pinhole was like a great opportunity.
And back to the small shop, what you wanted.
It's back to the small shop. I got a chance to see and start a place from scratch without paying for it. It was also good because it gave me the chance to craft a menu that I'm proud of. The starting model for Pinhole was to work with micro roasteries in Singapore which did not have shops of their own. We did Flip, Sam, At that point, Flip was super new. When I started working with Sam, did I know we would become partners? Of course I don't know, but like, I mean, her coffee nice lah. Flip followed Pinhole the entire of the 2 years, so I worked together with Sam for coffee for Pinhole. Yeah, and I think that was how we knew that we can work together quite well. We got to talking and stuff, then we realized that we don't just work together quite well, we work together like super well. And like I realized quite early on like what I found lah. Whatever she produces is stuff that is pretty much exactly what I'm looking for in coffee. I've done this line of work long enough to know that if you find someone like that, then you got to keep the person around.
Right.
Yeah.
So it then became a collaboration. They
So
pitched to Sam.
it became a very strong collaboration between Pinhole and Flip. And then after that, like we decided to just okay, let's do this.
Okay.
We open pocket together.
Can't bear to leave his wife.
Yeah.
Sad.
69.
Yeah,
You get that, man. Okay, come down. No more squeeze.
I think what I feel a bit more strongly into is, should coffee be a career by all? To enter the industry, you need to start with being a barista. That's the only way.
Actually, I take that back. To enter the industry, you have to start as a consumer.
Yes, true. Starts from the consumer. You need to sort of love it. You need to be interested in it from that standpoint first in order to sort of enter. I feel with any craft focused, passion focused industry, that's how it is. But I think a lot of people don't understand what it takes to actually be a barista and like what we actually have to sort of look at. And like we're not just making coffee, like looking cool while making coffee. There's a lot that goes into our heads lah. As a new barista, I remember like, okay, I'm watching my flow rate, I'm watching my temperatures, I'm watching my milk steaming. You know, you learn to listen to the milk, like how it stretches, how it textures and stuff. You learn to look at the flow of your espresso, and that's all just with espresso.
I think those are like small little things that
Yeah,
like
like
people
nuances.
Yeah,
lah.
they don't
notice. When if you don't know anything about coffee, you sit at the bar, you look at what the barista is doing, right? You have no idea. That's
It's like
what
if
the
you know,
person's
you
thinking
know.
about. Yeah, if you know, you know. But if you don't know, you really don't know.
And that's
Yeah.
also why you're actually paying more
Yeah,
for the
premium prices,
because
yeah.
it actually does takes a lot of training and
Yeah.
like to get there.
Truth be told, it also takes a lot of training to do traditional coffee.
It is.
Yeah, I feel like anything done by hand and done well requires time.
Which is a
to be
craftsman's
good.
salary.
Craftsman's salary, yeah. We're juggling like 1,000 things in our heads. You do have to do this for quite a number of years in order to ingrain it in you fully, such that in the future, when you're brewing 3-4 of us, you can think about what to eat for lunch. Yeah.
Because
it's in you already.
it's a muscle- inbuilt in the muscle memory.
Yeah, you'll sort of know like how to go about like getting coffees to a certain standard.
I guess it also comes with experience that you learn how to mitigate factors or like work around things quicker because like with the years that you start building up, you just know like, oh, I can do this, I can do this.
And I think it takes a lot of dedication. You need to have a lot of dedication in you to the craft as well. Because let's be real lah, Singapore is not a cheap place to live. Baristas are not paid well here. Yeah. That's just the way it is. When you first start out, your salary is gonna be shit.
Hours are not kind as well.
Hours are not kind. Yeah. So can you stand on your feet for 12 hours?
Literally.
Yeah, literally. Can you be on your feet for 12 hours?
Yeah.
Being clean is also something that's very important for a barista. And I think working in industry, you'll see a lot of people that are by default maybe cleaner than others. Yeah, so it's also about people management. Yeah, trying to get everyone up to a same level.
Standards.
Same standards. So at least the same baseline standards. And closing is always going to be harder than opening because you've already done the entire shift. And then you're now cleaning up after the entire shift to reset everything back to ground zero. And some damage does happen through the course of the shift.
This is the real debate.
The opening team has to respect the closing team as well
Yes.
by not taking photos and saying who did closing as
Yeah. See one stain and take photo. It's like, who ah? Yeah.
Wake up, honey, I'll make you breakfast. Fresh coffee and bagels too. A new day is waiting for us. We got lots of fun stuff to do.
Oh, so it feels bigger body because it's single pour, single tap.
It feels less
Delicate.
complex. It's always going to be higher in clarity, a bit more a bit more direct.
Higher
Yeah,
in
higher in
clarity,
clarity.
when you do a...
When you do a single time. When we do a double temp in the shop, the coffee will have more layers. Yeah.
You know, as we talk about baristas and chefs, right? Like when we work, I believe like a lot of us have the idea of opening our own place. We always hear of stories that don't work out. Why do you think so?
Something like that is difficult to say, but yeah, I do agree that not everyone is cut out to run a business. The kind of stress that comes with owning something of your own, right, is really quite different, I would say. Some people have it in them, some people don't. I feel like I've met many fantastic baristas who can make coffee like very well, but they know themselves that if they ever own like their own business, it wouldn't work out because there would be so many other things that they will have to settle, which they know they don't have it in them to settle. And likewise, business owners who are also craftsmen, like you and me, we've done our time in the industry and then now we own something. You cannot still be struggling with like the baseline problems that other baristas are struggling with when they first start out. To run Paraphrase well, if you're coming up with a new dish, it needs to be easy for you and you need to know what you want to do and then just be able to execute it well. So that side of the business whereby it's product facing needs to already be good. Much like here for coffee, I can't be struggling with like calibrating coffee.
Or like
I can't be struggling with like making an ice white or like all these things should be down, like true and truly down, like closed eyes can do it, that kind of thing. Because now your headspace is going to be filled with
BD,
a bunch of other shit.
A lot more.
Yeah, BD,
administrative,
revenue streams, P&L, bills, money. What happens if you don't have enough? What happens if you have too much, then you get comfortable, then suddenly you don't have enough, you know, that kind of stuff. It's all like a lot of foresight is required. The worst are the ones that haven't done this for a while and want to open something like this. Then they end up terrorizing the people that they hire.
I was privileged enough or lucky enough to have met friends who brought me on this coffee journey and like wine and sake, you know, this whole flavor experience. And I also hear from them that they always struggle, you know, to convince customers per se about these kind of situations, about why I'm paying more for specialty coffee. Do you see that as a struggle?
I feel it will be a struggle to people that don't truly understand where specialty is going or why the cost is higher to begin with. Specialty is higher because of the grade of what we use.
The product itself?
Yes, the product itself. If you use better ingredients, then you just be prepared to pay more for what you get lah.
Our local coffee context, the Nanyang coffee, started off very low price. Not saying that it's bad, but it's just a different style, I feel. You can't compare apple to orange, it's just different. Do you see that struggle for yourself as well?
Yeah, especially so fast because we have coffees in the shop that cost quite a bit. Yeah. Imagine if you didn't understand this and then you wanted to try like the Panama Geisha that we have, right? And then you're asking me like, oh, how come I'm charging $18 a cup for one of those? That's really the issue with a lack of communication in specialty, I feel. We charge a little bit more because the grade of what we buy is definitely going to be a lot more than Nanyang Kopi. The average prices of what we buy in specialty can be anything between $15, $16, $17 per kilo for greens, and that will be your classic lah, like your standard everyday drinking coffee.
So you're saying there is a cheaper alternative of
There
sorts?
is a cheaper alternative, but those wouldn't fall under the specialty grade anymore. Yeah, you know, there's this entire like grading system of how they rate what specialty is and stuff like that, you know, which is why everything is considerably a bit more expensive at specialty coffee shops. Ooh, delicious. Ooh, good girl.
Then okay then I don't feel waste.
Good girl, Oh, the omega-3 is making your fur so soft. It falls down again to like how much you're willing to accept a certain craft.
I can say the same for food, right?
Yes.
Like you like McDonald's, you like McDonald's. You like hawker center, you like hawker center.
Exactly.
If you want to spend more money to go eat fine dining, go ahead. But it's different. You can't really like compare. It's just because people think that coffee is a cheap product. It's a commodity, so it should.
And it's really because of this thinking whereby people think that coffee is a cheap product, which is why sometimes we get into price squabbles with customers because they just don't understand. You could get a batch brew from McDonald's nowadays, and it wouldn't, if you're not being fast, you can still drink it.
Because it's the cup of joe, right?
Yeah, it is a cup of joe. What difference is that in comparison to a hand brew that you get in a specialty coffee shop? Number one, I think people need to understand that using more expensive beans, that's why the cup will be a bit more expensive.
Why Shake Shack charge this much for a burger and why McDonald's charge this much?
Yep.
It's the same thing where with regards to coffee.
Well, so it's up to us to like share as much as we can about our craft and why things are done a certain way. I agree with you that it's not really for everyone because some people will just not see and not understand why the prices are different. It's the same people that will wonder why course menus are so expensive even though the food that you get is actually so little. Like every plate so big and little bit only, right?
Sometimes it's not volume, right?
Sometimes it's not volume, but it's the quality of what goes down. But to them, quality is nullified. A cup of coffee, say about this high, $18 at a specialty coffee shop because it's like a geisha or something like that from Panama. A cup of coffee from the kopitiam or from McDonald's, maybe even bigger than what we serve them, but $1 plus. Yeah, to them, the coffee only serves one purpose, which is to wake them up. Then they don't really care about flavors as to what goes in. And some people will just never care. So I do feel that on that aspect, it's hard to reach some of them. But we shouldn't not try still, I believe. Yeah, I believe that if they care enough to enter the shop, then it will be on us to try. Funny story, a customer came in the other day. She drank one of our fruitier coffees as a white. She was like, why is it like that? I think the milk's spoiled. So we had to sort of like tell her, no, it's really the coffee that changes the taste. Of course, we gave her the cup on the house and then we gave her like another one to sort of compare. But I feel like it's these small little things that we can try to do. At the end of the day, she walk out, she still don't understand now. But at least
You did.
At least I did. At least on our part, we tried. I feel like that's something that we should do lah. Like the moment a customer walks into your shop, then you should at least try.
I just wanted to keep the fish fridge because the fat is coming out.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it's a bit oozy on the fat.
Where you get it from? The one outside?
Meet the butcher. He always gives me good price.
Oh, am I cooking? Oh, I am. Today I'm going to show you how to do 30-second though. Fuck that lah, where's our time? And now we wait.
Well, this is the reality of cooking steak. It's not as exciting as
It's not, it's really not. Honestly, I think I'm pretty happy the way things are. I feel like I'm very thankful for the team that I have, and I feel very blessed by the people that we have working together with us.
Baristas are held to like certain skill sets, training. There's not just making a coffee, we actually have to respect them for the skill set as a craftsman, you know, handling products of expensive value. Do you think they should be paid more?
Yeah? Gosh! How much are bartenders being paid? A lot more than us. How much more are mixologists being paid? A lot more than us. Coffee is just seen as a cheap thing. That's the reason why we're paid so low. That baby barista that just starts out won't be handling coffee which is any less lower in grade comparatively with the head bar of the shop.
Do you think you are doing anything about it?
We try our best to pay our the people that work for us like a little bit better. But because of how society still views coffee and how like all these big players are still paying their staff, this is not going to improve just as yet. It takes a system change from a bigger scale in order for that to happen. Raising a part-timer's rate by $1 is really not difficult. Yeah, it's really whether you want to or you don't want to. But by doing so, it goes a much longer way for the person rather than for yourself. Just to allow them to feel like happier, allow them to feel like they are respected and they are valued. Like to me, it's a small amount that goes a much longer way.